Yesterday was definitely an interesting day in the crypto market. Definitely rocked the boat a little bit on this rally that we've been on. But the good news is that we've kind of gotten our feet back under ourselves and we're looking pretty good here to start this long weekend. And what I do want to do is run through a lot of different things that I'm watching here. There are some really good signs that we saw. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yesterday in totality just sucked. As you look at yesterday's daily candles, it was just red, 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 pretty much as the entire day went on. Almost every hour, we were getting either some liquidations, some dumping, and that took us all the way until we got to today's daily candle. And then we started to see some green. Overnight money actually pumped the crypto market. They were taking advantage of the opportunity, and that's not really a surprising thing because that's been kind of the recurring theme here is, when there are these discounts and opportunities in the market, people are taking advantage of it. And right now we're seeing ADA sit at about 76.5 cents. Now, understand I'm not saying that it's going to continue this way as the day goes on, but these are some promising signs. ADA is still showing some resilience around that 20-day moving average is exactly what we want to see. BTC, I got too far ahead of myself here. BTC obviously printed an ugly down almost 4% day yesterday, but is having a nice bounce back. In fact, it's back above 109K. So we're showing a lot of resilience and conviction going through the weekend. Again, we're still above that 20-day moving average in terms of BTC. We're still following this global liquidity chart, which is a great sign. And what this actually shows is, this could have been first little shakeout here. If we follow this thing to perfection, we don't have to, but that's been the very consistent trend. Now, what I will say is very exciting is one, still had an institutional buying day. And this actually led us to the third largest week in institutional accumulation in history. All right. We had $2.75 billion over the last week in terms of institutional buying. Even yesterday, as we were red, yes, there was some Fidelity unloading, Grayscale unloading ARC 21, but Van Eck and BlackRock just bought enough to easily eclipse any selling that was going on. This has been the recurring theme. Now, again, the whale that we've been talking about. I had some questions yesterday because those liquidations took place so fast in the market. That 40x whale actually increased their position to $1.25 billion. And this whale still has this position open despite having $18 million in unrealized loss. So they are convicted. They are betting on price going up, which is a great sign for the market. What it's showing is that they're doing a lot to try to help move the market up with increasing their position. So we'll see if that just continues to be the path moving forward, right? Now, what I will say is a promising sign here is that, we did only have about $600 million in liquidations over the last 24 hours. That's quite small for how much leverage was in the crypto market. And this is why I kept saying that it seems like the leverage is a little bit more spread out now, which is a very good sign. But what is good for ADA is one, this open interest is still heavily weighted to the short side. And two, they did chase down on these liquidations that we saw. What that could mean is that, we could have some liquidations to the upside. Now, it's not as thick as it was back here. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about potential downside if we do get some profit taking, which is part of what we saw. And now what we're waiting to see is, are we going to flip around and start moving this thing to the opposite side? Are we going to get liquidations up to about 82 cents as we move through the weekend? It's 100% possible. All right. Now understand that we don't have help from institutional money this weekend. It's all going to be dependent on retail. I'm very curious to see what we get as the weekend moves on. We came in really hot in terms of volume, $150 billion in daily trading volume. And if you remember last weekend, we had a lot of trading going on. I think both days were at least around $100 billion in daily trading volume. So very hot weekend. So I would expect to see some movement as the weekend progresses, whichever way that might be. What I will say here as well is, BTC dominance, although we got a big spike back up with the drop in altcoins yesterday, still floating right around its trend line. So this is actually kind of a perfect retest for a potential drop back down. And what I did want to show you guys too is, we're fighting this breakout in terms of altcoins very, very hard. And we just keep tapping this and tapping this. And actually what we're forming is a little bit of an ascending triangle here. All right. That was my terrible drawing. Again, yes, I know I should use my straight line tool, but you guys get the point, right? We're following this 20-day moving average. We keep bouncing off of this, and eventually there's going to be a point where we break through and we start to rally in an even bigger way. This is why I said that, this hasn't even started yet. We're still kind of in the early stages of this. We're still in that SOS phase in terms of ADA. I had somebody joke and say we're going to be in the SOS phase all year. No, guys, it looks like probably within the next week or two here, we're kind of prepping for a big breakout. Okay, that's just what it looks like. That's what the data is showing. Right now on the stochastic RSI on the daily, we're getting out of that oversold range. We're kind of putzing around the signal line, and it looks like we got a pretty big leg coming here. So that's just what I'm seeing. We'll see what happens as the weekend moves on. I did actually pretty decent on my long positions. Didn't get liquid. I got liquidated on one yesterday because I tried to catch one as the market was dropping. But I do have an H bar long open. I have a near long open just to kind of show you guys this. My H bar long is not doing well. Then when I opened up just a little bit higher in the charts, that went down about 31%. My near long, I forgot that I even had an order in for this, but that's up about 20% at the time I filmed this video. I do actually have my ADA long is still open. That's up about 60%. And then I did open up a Pepe long this morning. That's up about 4.5%. So if you guys are interested in checking out BTCC or Margex, or referral links in the description below, you guys can check that out. You can earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen as the weekend progresses? Do you think we're going to see more red? I think that at this time, we've shook out a lot of the people that were able to be shook out, and it seems like accumulation is a recurring theme here. I'm trying to pick up whatever I can. I understand that our time is very limited now, and what this means is that the market's going to get away from a lot of people. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.